Good evening and welcome to another edition of Mic'd Up. The NBA draft takes place tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and the first round will air right here on KATC. To preview what the night will look like for the New Orleans Pelicans, ESPN NBA reporter Andrew Lopez joins us now. So Andrew, the Pels have the 8th pick in the first round via the Anthony Davis trade in 2019. What direction does NOLA plan to go in?
Well, right now it's going to be try to take probably the best wing that they have available at that point. The problem is they don't really know who's going to be there. That's kind of the beauty of the draft, right? So I think the guy that they like maybe the most is probably Dyson Daniels. He's an Australian-born kid. His dad is American, played at NC State, but then went overseas, played in Australia, and that's where Dyson grew up. He did come over to the States to play in the G League Ignite program. So he played against some American competition last year, has kind of had a really good second half of the G League season, has kind of climbed up draft boards a little bit. He's maybe their number one target. He may be there at 8. He could go, anywhere 5, 6, 7. The Benedict Mathurin from Arizona, another wing. He can shoot right now. Can play defense when he is engaged on that end. He's another guy. Again, probably goes maybe 6 or 7. Then you get into two of the more guys with international flavor. Again, Ousmane Dieng, a French kid who played in Australia, to try and connect all of these dots of all these international guys right now. And then maybe Jeremy Sohan.
So that's the plan if they stay at number 8. Has there been any chatter about them being active with trades when it comes to moving up or down?
They're going to listen. And I think Dieng and Sohan are both guys who could possibly be there if they trade down. However, not very far. I think you maybe can't go past 10 for Dieng, maybe 12 for Sohan. So that also makes this kind of complicated of, you'd like to maybe trade down and get more assets or move some different pieces around, but there's a certain guy you like. He may not be there that long. There are guys that they are looking at in the back half of the lottery and maybe late in the first round. If they could sneak back in, sure. But I think everything they are focused on right now is on those guys early. And I think if like, for instance, if like a Dyson Daniels is there at 8, I don't see them necessarily trading back.
In state, there's one prospect that's expected to get drafted, LSU forward Tyree Eason. What range are you expecting for him to land tomorrow?
Yeah, he's probably late lottery to kind of early 20s, I would say. I don't think he would get maybe, into mid 20s range. Teams do like what he can bring on the defensive end. I think that's kind of the key for him. We saw him do a lot of different things at LSU. I think he's not necessarily going to be asked to do that right away, obviously, in the NBA. So his defensive versatility, that's the key word. That's kind of what everybody's looking for right now is the different spots, and can you guard, how many positions can you guard? And he's a guy that can go out there and guard multiple spots at an NBA level. And I think that's going to be his calling card early while he develops the rest of those skills.
That's Andrew Lopez, ESPN NBA reporter. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.